hereby call this meeting of the Fangirls Club to order. And I'm Brielle.
And I'm Haley. And this is something we came up with yesterday. This is going to be a tale as old as time.
Ooh.
A tale of fangirls past. A tale of two fangirls. This is going to be a 3-part discussion series. And it's going to be loosely based on one of our favorite Christmas stories, A Christmas Carol. Tonight, we revisit the ghosts of fangirls past.
And present. Kind of.
Well, yes, most of these, they have stayed with us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's lingered.
Basically, we're just going to talk about
kind of just
life.
Like we were chit-chatting. One of the videos we definitely wanted to work on eventually was just like more of a, we haven't officially sat down and done any sort of introduction.
Yeah, get to know us.
We just jumped right into book club and everything.
That's true.
Talk about some of like our earliest memories of like fangirling, how we just knew deep down like we were fangirls before we even knew what that meant.
Yeah.
Before that term was even coined. Well, Haley, I'll ask you a question.
Okay.
What is fangirling to you? What would be your definition?
That's a good question. Fangirling to me is...
Holds her heart.
I would say that it's part obsession, part adoration, part inspiration, and part imagination.
Wow.
Just when it comes to all things being a fan, but on, it's on another level too. It's like being a fan girl, you know everything there is to know about that thing.
There's a certain line that you have to cross over with it. Because
I'd
when
say
I was trying to create my list, I was even talking to Kenny about it, and I was like, what are some things that like right off the bat can you throw at me? Because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. And he was naming some things, and some things like made it. I was like, oh my God, thank you. I don't know how I would have missed that.
Yeah.
And then some things I was like, I didn't fangirl over it. And he was like, okay, so what's the difference? Like, what do you mean? And I was like, that line that you cross over is like, you can really like a show. You can like really support something. You enjoy it. But like once you fangirl over something and you cross that line, it's like once the merch is all purchased and really coming in. It's once the over consumption really hits.
Yeah, definitely.
It's once there's more of a connection to the thing than just the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of shows I was thinking of that, I really liked that show. But I don't have any merch, or I didn't over consume it enough.
I didn't base my life around it.
Yes.
For a certain amount of time.
Correct.
I had a couple of those too when I was thinking about it. That's good.
And that's what helped
definition.
me of like making my list not insanely, so it's still kind of long, but not crazy that I was like, unfortunately, I think that one can be knocked because I don't have merch. I didn't excessively try to go to a concert. I didn't like make it literally part of my personality. And so
exactly.
Yeah,
I love that. Can I tell a story?
Yes.
To kind of because just what you just said about fangirling, the difference between just being a fan and like appreciating something versus it's the obsession kind of in the most healthy way possible, trying to describe that. I guess I'm going right out the gate with one of my most notorious fangirl stories. Okay. Something that I've done as a fangirl.
Oh, okay.
Was a huge fan of American Idol. And I think I wrote down fangirl. Do you know what I'm going to say? I would say that I was a fangirl of American Idol in general, growing up from the start.
That's a good one.
I mean, side story, I was 9 years old and I was at vacation in Disneyland with my family, Disney World with my family. And we had like plans at, Chef Mickey or whatever that night for dinner, but I wouldn't leave the hotel room because I had to watch the finale of Ruben Studdard's season of American Idol. And I like sobbed and sobbed because my mom stayed back with me and he won. And it was like a dream come true for me.
A dream come true.
But my big story is when I was 16, I was a huge fangirl, super fan of David Archuleta. Like I was in love with him. And I used all of my, I don't know, if it must have been like Christmas money or something, to buy tickets to see him. I bought VIP meet and greet tickets to see him in concert. I got to go to his sound check. I got to like meet him backstage and take a photo with him. And I went up to like take my photo with him, and my favorite song by him, You Can, was playing, and we both hummed it together. This was actually a Demi Lovato concert, and I left immediately after David Archuleta was done.
You didn't see Demi?
I didn't. I left before she stepped foot on the stage.
Oh my God.
I was like, great, I'm done. Because, right, I was that big a super fan.
Yeah, it's...
Fangirl. But it can be anything, right? Like, that we remember. Like, today, I can't imagine being a fan of American Idol in that way anymore. It's changed so much. But some things from childhood have stayed, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy how they, you know, how it fluctuates.
Yeah, like
sometimes.
an extra thing of is that it, like, really, like, these are all the things that, like, I still would say that I am, you know? Like,
yeah.
None of it has truly left me. It, like, it integrates its way in, and it's, like, truly a part of your personality.
I bought a ticket to a David Archuleta concert a couple of years ago, and I was going to go by myself. I remember driving home from work, putting cute little space buns in my hair, and I got an email at like 6 o'clock. Doors were opening at 7, and David had canceled the concert because he had like, something was up with his voice. He couldn't perform. Devastated.
I know.
You're right.
Yeah.
10 plus years later.
It sticks with you.
Anyway.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You can choose between either of these two questions if you can think of something quicker.
Okay.
What is your earliest fangirl memory? Like your earliest memory of being a fangirl, or who was your first fangirl crush? Because we're not just talking fangirls over men or women or what have you.
Yeah.
It's like it can be a show and whatever.
I think the first moment of anything I ever fangirled it was like the first time I ever felt like starstruck in a way. I was probably 4, and I went to a birthday party that I think I had to go to. My mom took me because I think it was probably like one of my older brother's like friends' birthday parties or something.
Yeah.
There's still a picture of it to this day. And my mom tried to introduce me because Kimberly, the pink Power Ranger, showed up. And I stood in a corner and absolutely sobbed. And like my mom was like, go meet her, go say hi. And there's just a picture of me next to her, just like, I looked terrified because I was just so like overwhelmed.
You look terrified.
And
That's
I
so
was
cute.
just like, so like,
aww.
just.
Oh, that's a good one.
And that's why, like, still to this day, like, I know how like cute and like important costume characters like that are like for kids because like I know what that did to me at that time. So it's like when kids get so excited about that stuff, it's so cute because like God, they really think it's them.
That is the cutest.
That's like my first like.
Aww.
Oh my God, I was so excited.
That's good.
Yeah. My mom was like, just go say hi. And I was like,
Judy.
I know.
You're so cute, Judy.
Do you have one?
I do. My earliest fangirl memory it happened at my first concert ever. I was 5 years old, and my mom took me to a Tim McGraw concert. And I had this, like, again, I don't know what it is with my mom and I going backstage, but we got to go backstage and take photos with Tim McGraw. And I was in this, my mom and her friend brought me and her friend's daughter, and they dressed us the same in these little like purple cardigans and like little skirts. And I just remember being starstruck. Like my mom like got me and my sisters so obsessed with Tim McGraw music, and we have home video of us playing these little like fake guitars singing his songs. And so getting to meet him and like having watched him on stage live was so amazing at 5.
That's nuts.
And like a cute tie-in for this is years later I hear Taylor Swift's Tim McGraw
and you're like, oh my God,
on the radio.
me too.
And I was like, wait, same. And I was like, so that's, I guess, the first time I've also related to her music. And ever since then, every single song.
Day
I'm like,
one,
yep.
yeah. That's so cute. Yeah. And you wore a purple cardigan.
And I wore a purple cardigan.
That's cute.
So do you have a fangirl crush? Like what's like your favorite? Well, Tony Stark.
Oh.
Right?
That was not my first.
No. You're first. I forgot we were doing past. I'm sorry.
We've done first before. Kind of. I said
Matthew Broderick.
And you said
Kevin Bacon.
Yes. Because we like our boys who
we are going to be aging ourselves through this entire video. Like,
but
it's going to be so
reveal funny. The very first person
oh God.
that I ever I know that I felt like a crush. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that first time that ever happens to you and you're like,
yeah,
what is this feeling? So sudden and new. It was a cartoon character.
Great.
And I was so obsessed.
No judgment.
We listen and we don't judge.
Don't judge.
Was the main character on Digimon.
Wow. Amazing.
I thought he was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was
oh my God.
So obsessed.
That is so cute.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I think that was my first ever
wow.
I literally had feelings. It's so embarrassing. It's so funny.
Amazing.
Being a kid and you're watching the show and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist.
Does not exist. Not even, only in 2D.
Not even an actor. It literally just.
That's a good one.
Was yours Happy Feet?
I guess it was. Ours were both animated, I guess. I had to have had one before Mumble from Happy Feet. Mm-hmm. He's definitely one of them. No, it wasn't Mumble. I'm sorry.
Hugh Jackman.
Sorry. It was Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman. Just the whole first number, I thought was so sexual.
Because it was.
I was like, whoa.
I love this.
And I was obsessed. And I also became a fangirl of Prince immediately after seeing that movie.
Because of that song, yeah.
I learned all his entire discography.
Oh my God. So good.
Yeah. Also, these connections we make as fangirls too, the way we are able to find something else through it's the multiverse of fangirling.
In some way, they're all kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, how do you want to jump in?
Well,
I mean, I was a kid. I was very much an again kid, and I think that heavily leans into
100%
my nature now of being a fangirl because these are all the things that I was over consumed.
Yeah.
Very much. Okay, again.
Totally. Yeah, me, I would just over describe the thing to anyone who would listen and just be have all these facts about it. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So, you start. I feel like you formulated something in your brain and I'm just going to follow along.
I just kind of broke it up. The first kind of little list that I have is just very early childhood.
Great.
To
I would only have a couple of those, I think, but that is perfect.
Early childhood to middle school.
Okay.
What?
I just have some of my shit is just so neat and so just weird, so weird.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Mine's so long. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, we already talked about Power Rangers.
Yes.
Specifically the pink Power Ranger.
But if I know one thing about you, it's one of the first things I learned about you is probably your fangirling over the pink Power Ranger and Power Rangers in general.
And then it was definitely Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
And these two also lead in to Sailor Moon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So with all of those combined, I think that's really what later on jumps into my whole superhero phase of just
that makes everything. A lot of sense.
Because those three were very big my entire childhood.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's good. Similarly, I would say that that's how I am with Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Mm. She was my number one for all those years, right? Mm-hmm. I started watching that in elementary school and all the way up through middle school easily. And then when the Netflix one came about, I was just And also just like witches in general. I think that's why I love them so much. Yeah.
Like that was a hard one for me to not add on the list, but I was like, I didn't.
And I watched the animated one. I watched any like iteration of it that I could. I loved it.
Oh my god, this list, I don't even know how to. Okay, I'm just gonna start like naming things, I guess.
Okay.
Because that also like, so I had Digimon,
Digimon.
but a huge one was just American Girl dolls.
Oh yeah.
Because I had the dolls, the books, and the movies.
Oh my god, no way.
Like,
did you have the plays?
No. I just read, like, I read, Samantha has a ton of books. I read all of hers because I had the Samantha and the Nellie dolls. Oh, yes. So I was like, I need to obviously read the books too. But like the Felicity movie that came out.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Loved that movie.
Cute.
I loved all of them so much.
I had the Molly play, and I took it to school and I cast the play and I directed everyone at recess, but I was definitely also Molly for sure. But
I'm the director and I am Molly.
I remember being like, we only have 15 minutes for recess, so we have to do this quick. I don't remember what happened after that.
It's probably
everyone probably quit on me and went to the swings. Whatever.
Because you took Molly. And then the first musical person that I ever fangirled over was Britney Spears. So that's my ultimate OG in terms of music.
Such a 2000s girl.
Oh my god, she was everything to me.
That's cute.
I had the Britney Spears PlayStation dance game. And I loved it so much.
That sounds amazing.
Before DDR came out.
So did you just like...
You just hit the buttons and they would...
got the controller?
Yeah. And if you did it all right, like consecutively, like she would do like all the right dance moves.
Oh my god.
And I always wanted someone to play with me, so I would make my mom play with me all the time. But I was also like really embarrassed anytime we played with the song like "I'm a Slave for You," because in the background she whispers, "I want to have sex with you," and I remember like my insides curdling. Because I was playing it with my mom, but like I wanted her to play with me at the same time, but I was so embarrassed.
Do you think she heard?
I do.
I wasn't allowed to listen to Britney Spears, so
she was a little scandalous. Yeah,
risque.
I know.
For any reason, like my mom listened to weird shit, but
I'm gonna say that's surprising. I feel like
I know she was choosy about those things.
Yeah, I remember being so embarrassed.
I can't remember music as much. I was into American Idol like at such a young age, honestly, that I did listen to a lot of I probably Tim McGraw, Faith Hill, Shania Twain, and the Chicks were just like so prominent in my household that I was like a big country music gal for a long time.
So funny.
And then I think I got straight into musical soundtracks. Like if I'm being honest.
What a rollover, yeah.
Until like Taylor came into my life with some Prince and 80s mixed in, because again, that's what my mom liked. So just, different stuff, music-wise. But I think...
first Kelly Clarkson CD,
oh my God. That's definitely when I remember first being like, this is like this is music. Like, this is my,
Like on my little MP3, like that's all I had was Kelly Clarkson.
Yes. Lizzie McGuire was, one of my favorite people in the whole world at that time. Like I idolized her.
Revolutionary.
I just wanted to be like, it's like how Leslie Knope became. Sort of. I think Lizzie was maybe a bit more like, relatable. But I just wanted to be like super nice and like have a couple of really good friends, but dress like that. Like so like
cute.
I was like, how does anyone make fun of her? Like she's the coolest. She's the coolest.
I know.
Her little cartoon persona. Definitely Lizzie McGuire.
Lizzie. She's so cute.
Okay, yeah. We're still in like middle school. What are we doing?
Music then? I'll go into another one as Josie and the Pussycats.
Yes.
Did you see that movie?
A long time ago.
The way that soundtrack is drilled into my head, like if any of the songs came on, like I know all of the words, like, without even thinking about it, it's just like in your soul.
Yeah.
God, I listened to it so much. And I was the drummer for Halloween one year.
Oh my God, so cute.
And I like just made everyone watch that movie all of the time.
That's true. It was a lot of movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
A lot of movie soundtrack CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Cheetah Girls was a big one for me. I loved the Cheetah Girls. Or that's at least how I found a lot of my music.
Yeah.
You know?
Or we would get those
As
random
one does.
CDs and like Happy Meals and stuff.
That's true.
I had a couple of those. It comes with 4 songs.
Dang.
And I just like would listen to those all the time.
I once bought a D12 CD
I don't D12. That sounds like
with
a vitamin.
Eminem,
Oh.
like on the back of the bus.
On the back of the bus.
Some kid was selling them for selling like burned copies for $5 each, and everyone was doing it, and so I did it. I don't know where I got $5 though.
That's so funny.
These chicks don't even know the name of my band. Do you remember that song?
No.
But they're all on me like they wanna hold hands.
Ooh. Clean version.
I guess it was. Maybe it was a Kids Bop version. A bootleg Kids Bop CD I bought for $5 on the back of the bus.
Probably. I can't believe you bought it on the back of the bus. That's where all the scandalous stuff happened.
I know. I had to go back there too because usually I
I
couldn't sit back there. I wasn't cool, but I had the money.
The social pressures of riding the school bus still scar me to this day.
The only thing that helped me was music and the music I was fangirling
My movie
over.
soundtracks.
Yes.
Leads me into Ferris Bueller, which started my whole Matthew Broderick obsession.
Mm-hmm.
It was really bad, which also led into the Producers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Changed my life.
I loved that movie. I remember watching it over and over.
Yeah, I
thought it was so cute and so fun. And they were just a delight.
I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
What's
like,
the song with Uma?
If you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah, duh. How could I forget? But I would like rewind that and watch it over. I thought it was like so fun. I was like, damn, she's amazing.
Wow. It's just so... Yeah, I think that was
Flouted.
one of my first musical obsessions, too.
Those are
But
really good.
It's the Matthew Broderick pipeline, too.
Yep. That's so funny.
You know. Oh, my God.
Matthew Broderick did more fun things than Kevin Bacon did. Kevin Bacon...
He got serious real
did
fast.
Footloose, and then he just did like... I'm trying to think. Not Moon River. Mystic River.
Mm.
But I had to obsess over it because Kevin Bacon was in it.
Yeah.
It's a very sad movie.
But that's
Anyway.
what happens when you fangirl. You just gotta support.
You just have to support.
You don't have a choice.
In college, I went to watch Kevin Bacon talk at the Kimmel Center.
What did he talk about?
Just being an actor.
Oh,
It was a series they were doing, and students got like free tickets.
that's.
And
so
I like saw it
funny.
pop up in an email or something, and I was like,
I
Kevin
have
Bacon.
to see Kevin.
So yeah, again.
Did you see him in the X-Men movie he was in?
Yeah,
You said you never really watched any of them, but he was in X-Men.
I must have watched it then.
I must have watched.
I don't remember. I know I've seen like a couple of them.
Well, X-Men is one of mine.
I know.
I am
I have to watch them.
overly obsessed over those.
I think that's so cute.
Oh my God, like. And then that's where, like, it just, there's
the
always
Marvel.
pipelines through everything. Yeah, because that's where, you know, just like all the superhero like stuff, like heavily laid was X-Men. And I was so obsessed with Hugh Jackman.
Towards the beginning of our friendship, I remember being like, I have to watch all the Marvel movies or like
I can't
she's
be
not going to
friends.
be my friend.
I'll never talk to you again. You have
So
to
real
know.
though.
There's so many now. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
just funny. Like, I remember, like, it being so, I mean, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But just, like, it was such more of a smaller... like, the first Avengers movie
tiny
coming
piece
out,
of the pie.
I thought was, like, the biggest thing that ever happened ever.
And then, yeah, just that, you know, your fandom is fed. I will say that.
I think they got overfed and now they're angry.
Yeah. Who's angry? The fandom?
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone's a little grumpy. In any fandom these days.
Yeah, it's hard.
But yeah, you Marvel fans, Marvel fangirls.
It's all because of our DJ.
It's true. Even I know that.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Damn. You know, it's those fandoms, like when you fangirl over something so hard, you question a friendship if they don't like it. Like, it would be really hard for me to be your friend. Like, our relationship would be different if you didn't like Twilight, like at all, and you made fun. You thought it was like just like the stupidest thing. I don't think we would not be sitting here today. I'm just gonna say that we wouldn't. Do you agree though?
Yeah. Okay. But it's like because I can because it's once you cross that line.
Oh yeah.
Because now it's just like a part of the personality, you know?
Oh, 100%.
It's not just like a thing that I liked at a point.
It's a part of your soul.
Yeah.
Identity. I mean, that's why we like get the tattoos, because it's like a part of you.
Where's your Twilight tattoo?
I'm getting it. I'm definitely getting it. You know what I'm getting, right?
No.
I'm getting unconditionally, irrevocably.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. You've said this.
Somewhere.
Do it like
oh, that would be
on the back of your knee.
Oh, that's
so then
good.
when like your leg opens, you see both of them.
Yes.
Or you can do this. I like when people do stuff on their elbow.
That's really good. I wish I had enough fingers to just spell it out.
Or you could do one like, one on the inside there, and then the other on the, and then you go.
You just go, unconditionally, irrevocably. Wait, you need a comma in there too. I'll do it.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I will do it. And we have so many of them. It's why only the two of us can just...
It's never ending.
Things the way we do.
That's why I'm like, I can. How
understand
long should
each
this
other
list
too well.
go? It's another language.
So any more? Do you have any more music from your past?
Music from early.
Yeah.
I think that's the early one. Michelle Branch.
Michelle Kwan. I mean,
I have Michelle Kwan.
I know
listed
you have
on.
both. I know you have both there. I was just like,
Michelle Branch was
that's
a very
good
early one.
Yes.
I thought she was like the most talented.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was like the first singer-songwriter I ever heard of. So I was like, she wrote this and she plays it on the guitar?
Amazing.
I thought she was stunning.
Stunning.
What about you?
Music?
Jesse
McCartney was one of the... And, you know, he was blonde. And I don't like that. But he got a pass because I thought his voice was liquid gold. I just thought he was like
again.
I was never a boy band girl either, which is crazy because I love Jesse McCartney and I feel like if there were just 5 of him, it'd be the perfect boy band.
Could you imagine?
I know he came from a boy band as well, but they were like, you are too much of a star. Dream.
What was he in?
Dream.
Or was that Aaron? What was Aaron in?
Oh, jeez.
Dream Team. No, this is like basketball. What's happening?
Aaron Carter's first band, Dream Street.
Dream Street?
I think it was Dream Street.
Dream Team band. What is Dream Team? Oh my god, it's all like random playlists.
Literally, it's Dream Street.
Dream Street? Dream Team? Wasn't one of them was in like Princess Diaries?
I don't remember.
Dream Street. Oh,
was I right?
How cute. They're so
adorable.
Little.
God, the guy looks like Andy Samberg. That's
Does
funny.
this count as a boy band if they're all like literally 10 years old? I mean, I guess
so
it's
cute.
boys.
Oh,
it
Jesse.
happens every time when I see you.
I don't remember that song. Oh my god, these videos. Oh yeah, I remember this one. That guy looks familiar. I probably watched this music video a lot. Oh yeah, that song. It was all about Jesse for me.
Gorgeous.
And then I saw him in concert in 2022 and I got COVID. And then you got COVID and I gave you COVID.
Jesse.
For your birthday.
Jesse McCartney. We'll always have beef.
Remember we sat outside for 4th of July because we wanted to celebrate. We sat outside in our community yard. I had my mask on and everything. And I sat at like a different picnic table, and we just sat and ate hot dogs in silence.
Look, you had to do what you had to do.
Oh my God. Anyway, good times.
Really hot dog.
Yep. Thanks, Jesse McCartney.
Oh, it's
Still love you.
Good. Anyway, the last, I would count Friends.
Yeah, friends from early on.
Yeah. Cause
Gilmore Girls started for me early on too.
Those are both like at the same time. Mm-hmm. Those are very early on. And the last one was Harry Potter.
Harry Potter started early.
Whoa.
Because my dad read them to us. Mm-hmm. So as they were coming out.
And then once the movie started too, that was.
Mm-hmm. I loved going to the movies, but I will say, I only ever watched them once in the theater, and then I like never watched them again.
Any of them?
Well, like we've watched them. Yeah. I can maybe count on a hand.
That's insane.
But I was like a very fangirly over the books.
Mm-hmm. Third movie is masterpiece, because that's carried on, and I think that was the foundation of like so many.
Totally, yeah. I mean, because that
fantasy. I think
those were books where we were wondering what we were theorizing about what was going to happen in the next one. Mm-hmm. It was the first big fantasy kind of series when we were that young to comprehend like these other worlds and
like magic, like,
and be such a fan of all the characters and their relationships. Mm-hmm. And the story and Harry's story.
Cute.
That we were just anticipating the next one to come out. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'll never like the feeling of those like midnight releases.
I miss
everyone had to go.
Yeah, I miss purely like actually midnight releases. Like it was hard to get tickets. The movie did not start until midnight. You had to stay up all night. Everyone dressed up.
We're gonna have that again soon.
For what?
Avatar. Like, it's gonna happen.
But they're gonna release it like on a Wednesday.
Well, we're
at 3 p.m.
No. She'll do a midnight release.
She'll do it.
It's a book tradition, mostly.
I know. Who would you dress up as?
The cereal.
I was waiting for that, yeah.
It's just, realistically.
With a little teacup.
Just put a nice, I got one right over there. I did it for all of Harry Potter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even the movie. I did it for the movies because the books were still coming out.
Isn't that insane?
In the middle, maybe around the 4th or 5th book, for sure.
Yeah, I remember. This is so weird and specific, but I remember like every time right after we saw a new Harry Potter movie in the theaters, I remember going to the bathroom right afterwards, and I like, you like get that like rush of like. I guess there's like, because it was such an early time of like really specifically feeling like that fantasy world thing. Like I remember like, because the first thing I would do is go to the bathroom, and I would just feel so like excited.
Oh my God.
And I would just like, and also I think like going into the bathroom, like in the first movie when Hermione is in the girls' bathroom, and like the troll comes in, and I was like, there's gonna be a troll to come in the bathroom.
Yeah, you're
just
in
like
that world.
Your head
you're,
is
living in it. Yeah. Or you just like try and like replay scenes in your head because you've just seen it and then you have to see it again. What?
That just reminded me of the kid who said he.
Now this is the definition of a fangirl.
The kid who said he watched Shrek so many times that he knew it by heart and memory.
Literally, like the movie as it plays, the dialogue, everything. And when he would like get bored, or if he didn't want to listen, or he was on a long car ride, he would literally just lay his head back and just like close his eyes and watch Shrek in his head. And then what was the end of that story? He like was laying in bed
one night, and his dad came in and he said, "Dude, like go to bed. I like stop watching Shrek."
Like his dad, everyone knew that he could do this. His dad would have to go in and be like, "Time for bed. Stop watching Shrek." Whew. Anyway,
It's so good.
It's just, yes, exactly.
That leads me into Shrek. Now towards like later middle school, high school, formative teenage years. I guess, yeah, anything under 18.
Yeah.
Kind of like, what were some of your fangirly bigs?
Well, Gilmore Girls remained my favorite show of all time. I also did love reality. American Idol was, I had to watch it or I would like die. Something had to really be important for me to not watch every week. Same with Gilmore Girls. And those are the two shows that I can think of through like middle school. Because eventually there was Glee. That was high school. And that's not just TV. That's just, that's so many things.
I think that got so excessive because it was TV, but like also music. And then they did a concert. And
written for fangirl.
Yeah.
Meant for fangirls.
It's insane.
Gilmore Girls and American Idol were probably my two must-watches.
I miss you get so excited to vote.
Yes. Oh my God.
And you only had a couple hours.
And you had to call in at the time. You couldn't text.
Yeah. Ooh, when texting became a thing.
Yeah.
Whew.
Revolutionary. But I will say I was more of a book reader back then. Like I was a huge book reader, and that's because of Harry Potter. But then once middle school hit, so did puberty. And I just became obsessed with all of these teenage coming of age stories, whether they were romances or my first memory of fangirling over a series, really fangirling, was Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I never read them. I wanted to be in that world so bad and be one of those girls and be friends with them, and like also have friends who I could like fit the same pants as me, and like we just like mail them to each other.
See, like it's things like that. Like, yeah, like you want to make it.
Blake Lively in that movie changed me for good.
I think that was one of the first. Yeah, that was one of the first times that like you watch when you watch like a girl in something and you're like,
and then
do I hate her?
Alexis Bledel.
But am I in love with her?
Yeah. Oh,
I think
exactly.
I hate. She's pissing me. Why is she so pretty? And you're just
I was
like
obsessed. But then Alexis Bledel, who is Rory. In that movie, I was like mind blown, like worlds collide.
So cute.
That's one of the best feelings. Those are good. The Princess Diaries books.
Reality show is that I grew up watching all of Big Brother.
Oh yeah.
Because of my parents. So that was like such a big, every summer it's such an event.
Yeah.
So that was always really fun. Oh, I loved it's changed so much too.
Yeah, you've gotten to watch it evolve.
I think Sisterhood of Traveling Pants is such a good example of like, I know for you, but I will talk for me in terms of part of like fangirling in that time too was also just like the heavy rom-com / just early 2000s movies.
Yeah.
And like fangirling over those was just such a thing.
Yeah.
At that time of like, I can't even recall how many times I've seen some of those. Like Mean Girls or 13 going on 30.
I know. Just iconic.
Just like the coming of age, like rom-com.
Costumes, yeah.
Like that was
Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. I was obsessed with any and all Lindsay Lohan too.
Yeah.
I was a huge Lindsay Lohan fangirl. But Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, I was like, this... I didn't want to be another person more than when I was watching that movie. I was like, Lola Steps is the coolest person on this planet. Step aside Lizzie McGuire. I was like, I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, and that's another great example of like the movie soundtrack. Like,
oh my God.
It was...
Oh, yeah. I would walk around like at school and sing like, don't move on, don't move on, don't move.
And that's such a good one because she's such a fangirl in that movie. The lengths they go
Sid
to.
Arthur, of course.
Oh my God.
That movie is perfect. That's
Megan Fox
movie.
in that movie is a perfect example of like, I think I despise this person because it's the prettiest thing ever. You know what I mean? Like that first feeling of, I guess it's like the puberty of it all when it hits and you're like,
I hate you, but like
Yeah.
you're the coolest.
And then you
coolest,
get
coolest.
obsessed, and
Yeah.
it's just
You have to find things that look like what they wear, and
Yeah.
it's everything. Like I had to have DDR because of that movie.
Eh.
I was like, I'm gonna become a video game person now just so that I can play this game like they
the
do in this
way
movie.
they held on to the back of it, and like,
Oh,
and then they did the spit.
she like, oh my god, I can hear the sound effects.
Yeah,
too.
and the sneakers kind of squeaking as they turned, and like, I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, it was.
Honestly, it kind of still is. Every time I see that, I'm still impressed.
It's like I consider the choreography done in One Short Day in the Wicked movie, and then the DDR scene in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
I can't.
And I would think
It's a close second.
the same person
Wow.
did both of these.
Holy cow, that's really good. Okay, you mentioned Glee. I don't even know if we can even like
Glee.
the cultural importance.
It's sort of, I think the pinnacle for us in this conversation is Glee and Twilight.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkle little Hunger Games in there. But that's right. That's getting towards like,
It's a little, yeah.
it started in middle school. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Twilight came out in 2005, but Glee didn't start until high school.
Glee, well, Rachel Berry was in the same, well, most of them were in the same exact grade I was. So, like, the season when it came out, like, they graduated high school, and I was like,
That's crazy.
and then Rachel goes off to NIADA, and I was like, I'm going to go off to musical theater as well. And, like, God, I thought that show was, like, meant for me.
Mhm.
It was, in, like, and every song was just so, like,
And I have to throw honorable mention to before Glee because was High School Musical. For me, like I have to say High School Musical. That was my entire personality. I mean, I went to a school where our colors were red and white, and we were the Wildcats.
Oh, you were the Wildcat?
Yes.
Oh, my God. So, yeah,
And
you thought.
Oh my god. When I won prom queen, I requested that they play the opening number from the first movie. This is the start of something new. They didn't though.
I was going to say, did they play that? Because I cannot have.
They didn't play it.
Stop.
So anyway, that's my bit on High School Musical, and I still love watching the Scream number.
I don't think I've ever cried, laughed as hard as
Scream from
I
the third movie
ever have before. When it comes up again in a conversation and Haley goes, you know what I really want to watch right now? And then she starts like typing and stuff and looking it up, and I was like, oh, I know exactly where she's going. And we have the same conversation of like, at what point in the movie does this song happen? We're like, oh, we're going to have to like scrub through and see it. But she goes to start the movie, and it's exactly by the second already on that part of the movie.
I don't know where to go. What's the right thing? That number again. I have to throw this in the ring for sure in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, Wicked, and then the Scream choreography from High School Musical 3. And that's where that was my tidbit on HSM.
I don't think that one counts as like a pass. Like, I think you fangirl over it more now. There's something about it. You just, like you said, it's the greatest performance I've ever seen.
The Scream, yeah, that specific number, makes my heart skip a beat the same every time. Like, it gets me so excited every time. It's so good.
It is
he
really.
puts his everything into that performance.
Yeah, he really did. I never watched like Disney Channel type of stuff too much growing up.
And like, remember when I said the relationship is different when you don't like, certain of the same things?
Mm-hmm.
It's so weird to me.
That's our biggest bridge.
It's just odd to me that you never watched, and you've explained it.
Yeah.
You had brothers.
We were like Cartoon Network. It was like,
people.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Yeah.
I didn't get into that until way later.
Like, while you were doing that, I was watching X-Men.
Yes.
So.
Typical.
Our paths.
And then they come back together.
Slightly forked.
Yeah. Anyways, no, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't watch much Disney Channel. I've had to introduce you to so many things. Luck of the Irish.
We didn't even finish it. I couldn't do it.
This is ass.
I was
It's
so
not.
confused.
I get it.
That leads into Disney movies.
Oh, yeah.
I was huge on. And just Disney in general. Like, my mom is a Disney
World, yeah.
close to a Disney adult.
Yeah.
So obviously that carried over. But yeah, there's some Disney movies, like, are the ones I've seen the most in my life. Like, wildly on repeat. I'd say the ones I've seen the most are Lilo and Stitch and Monsters, Inc.
Oh, my God.
From, like, earlier days-ish.
Monsters, Inc.
So good.
I remember seeing a lot of these movies in theaters. Like, I remember seeing Lilo and Stitch in theaters, and it would being, like, the best time ever.
I thought, like, the music was the most, like, I was like, what is this?
Oh, yeah. We played that CD all the time.
Soundtracks, like, it was not the same anymore. There's some, movie soundtracks and, like, the music in them was such an important, even marketing-wise, like, a movie soundtrack was a huge deal. And you get that CD, and it comes with, like, in the pamphlet, it comes with, like, behind-the-scenes photos from the movies, and, like, it was, and then they had, like, lyrics on the front. So good.
And I love how there were famous artists attached to a lot of these CDs. Yeah. But, like, you only knew them from that movie soundtrack. You're like, oh, Natasha Bedingfield, she sang this song on the soundtrack. But in fact, she was, like, a very well-known like artist with a ton of hits.
Or, like,
and then I became a fan of hers.
I miss the end credits song that a big artist did, a new song, like, for the movie specifically, and it, like, was a huge deal. Yeah. Those were important.
Ooh, those were.
That was important to the fangirling world of, like, it just wrapped it all up in a nice little bow. So nice.
But that leads us into
another one of our big connectors, though.
With one?
Was Tangled.
Tangled was a huge one.
Still to this day, I don't think we'll ever be beat with my favorite movie ever.
I sobbed like a baby when I saw that movie.
Really?
I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed because from the beginning, like, it was just so beautiful. Like, it was so beautiful to watch and so magical. And her story, just like a story that we know so very well, was just, like, told perfectly. And the music was instantly, every song a hit. Every song I wanted to learn and memorize immediately.
And Mandy.
And the love. And Mandy Moore, when I knew going in, Mandy Moore was Rapunzel. And I was like,
killing it.
She was, I fangirled over her growing up from the Princess Diaries movie.
I thought, Stupid Cupid was the very first song I ever did, like, a skating show to.
Really?
Yeah, I did it with my friend. And so we both, like, skated to Stupid Cupid at, like, the spring show or something.
That's so cute. I would love to have video of that.
I want to see if I can find any of my early, like, skate. It's so funny. Oh my God.
I remember I only bought the Princess Diaries soundtrack so that I could listen to that song on repeat.
The squeak she does.
Oh my God.
It's the most perfect sound.
I was obsessed. I know. Anyway, then Tangled all these years later.
Yeah.
Just the music. And then when I heard I See the Light for the first time, I ascended.
I was, like, this close so many times, like, to try and get a chameleon because, like, I was like, I need one.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yep.
I know.
I tried to, like, theme my room after her. I had all pink and purple, which was, like, kind of very unlike me. Any, other side. But I was like, oh my God. I had to and I got my Pascal plushie as quickly as I could when those came out. Tangled.
Wow. What do we have? Shrek? Glee? Taylor Swift?
The thing is, Tangled came way after.
Tangled was in 2010.
I know. 5 years before that, the first Twilight book came out.
I didn't read them when they first came out. I was a couple years after.
Even so, if I were to really say, if you were to ask me, like, what's your original fandom? Yeah. I would say, I would probably mention Lord of the Rings because that's my earliest memory of loving a movie. But that kind of grew more with age as I understood those movies more.
Yeah, it was hard to get all of
I had all the action
cool
figures.
stuff.
I was obsessed. But my fandom, like, for myself, one that where I actually met others who, like, had the same obsession, because we had phones at that, or no, we had internet at that point, and I could, like, look things up about
I remember I wanted the girl that played Violet in A Series of Unfortunate Events to be Bella.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, there's rumors that, like, she was up for it or something. And I remember being so disappointed when it was, like, announced. Because I don't think I knew her at all when she was cast, when Kristen was cast. So I was like, who? Like, I wanted her.
Those books changed me. I was there was me before Twilight, and there was me after Twilight. My mom had to read them, and my mom became obsessed with them, but she was so, like, what has gotten into
are you
you?
okay?
That she was like, I have to read these to see, like, what is, what's going on with her.
That's so good.
And she was obsessed with them, read them all in, like, a day. Anyway.
I guess that's a good one of, like, a good example of one of the first ones, at least, to, like, understand what fangirling over something was. You know what I mean? Like,
and I guess it's more fandom, right? Than like fangirl.
Yeah, it was like the first thing. The first fandom, I guess. Is, a good example. It's just like, you saw how obsessed other people were, and it was like
you taught each other. You were like, did you hear about this? And, like, it just grew and grew and grew. The more you obsessed over it.
Yeah. Around that time, the other thing for me was just, like, Wicked. And which then went into my obsession with Kristen Chenoweth. Yeah. And that's, like, a whole other tunnel I really went down. Because she has such, like, some very classic, infamous performances that I would watch religiously.
Loved those.
Like,
my
on
God.
repeat. It was...
YouTube hated to see us coming back in the day.
Absolutely insane.
Just, like, had a sudden flood of...
Just YouTube.
All the crazy crap I used to watch on YouTube. Mostly, I mean, it evolved into musical theater performances mainly, and
Twilight.
episodes or numbers from Dancing with the Stars. No.
So you think you can dance.
So you think you can dance performances on YouTube. Like, literally play it in my favorite in my head. One night I had a sleepover, and my friend who was the one who showed me this one performance. You
just watched it.
She and I sat up. I kid you. I'm not even kidding. We watched it until the sun came up. Like, that was a good one. Good side note.
My last one in high school is, like, when Ariana Grande really all kicked in for me. It was probably, like, what, 2011 or something. Yeah. I'd say that's my last one of, like, high school I really remember, because that was, like, I don't know what came over me. I don't know what happened. There's something, like...
It totally makes sense.
Yeah. And I think it was also just, like, she is exactly our age, too. Where I think that was the first time I really got to be the same age as someone that I was, like, fangirling over. And, like, now, in time, too, it's been cool to grow up with. Because Taylor Swift was always a little bit older. So I got to still... It felt like looking up to. Yeah. Type of thing. But, like, she was exactly the same age. So it's like...
Fangirling over Taylor started in middle school, but then it only grew.
Yeah, and still does. It's
exactly
crazy how it just doesn't ever...
that's probably the top thing that it has grown, and grown even stronger and as time has gone by.
Consistent, too. Like,
for sure.
All right, what are some college / into now years that are relatively newer in that way? My favorite show in college was Walking Dead.
Okay.
I was so obsessed.
Yeah. And my dad was a really big Walking Dead fangirl. Fangirl.
Loved it.
The only decoration he had in his living room was a Walking Dead fleece blanket.
I love that.
He loved Rick.
We all did.
He loved Rick.
What about Lost? Lost was, like, a big one.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty early.
Wait, I have a confession.
What?
So when I watched Lost, I was watching it because my high school boyfriend... because I was watching Lost with my high school boyfriend. He was a huge fangirl of Lost. And I ended up becoming a huge fan of the show myself. But we only watched it because we had a rule where like every time someone says the name Jack, who is the main character on the show, we had to give each other a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
It's a great way to get into a show.
It was like the most, like looking back on it,
That's so silly.
the most cringe thing I have ever heard of in my life. You have to break the ice somehow.
Yeah.
But then when I was in college, I
actually enjoyed the
I
show.
actually like rewatched it and I really became obsessed. I had like the lore book, like the lost lore book.
See, that's pretty fangirly.
Mhm.
Well, 2016, Stranger Things.
I mean,
It's still current.
yeah.
Crazy.
Were you were graduating that year?
Mm-hmm. It came
That's
out. It
crazy.
came out a couple months later.
That's exciting.
I know.
All in one day.
Feels forever ago.
I know, that's crazy. But I watched that day, and then I was like, again.
yeah. It was like an instantly a thing that I.
Oh my god.
I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna get over it.
That, yeah, so good.
I know. Wow.
So yeah, but did you have anything in college? You said in college you liked Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Fangirled over Walking Dead. The Hobbit movies were coming out during college,
Mm,
so I kind of re-entered my
loved that.
hardcore. Yeah, I love.
I mean, college was like
those.
heavy MCU,
Mm.
so that was most of my fangirling.
Yeah.
Was like it had always, before they started releasing things way too many times during one year, it was always like maybe every other year one movie would come out
Mhm.
in May,
Oh yeah.
like the first week of May, which was always like finals week.
Mm-hmm.
So like running off of no sleep or anything, I was losing my mind. But like again, midnight showing, like you could not see it
Yeah.
until it came out so late. So I was like, I don't care. I need to see the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But there's like finals. I was
I was a really big fan of the Monkees in college.
the band.
Yes. My sisters and I bought all of their TV show box set DVD, like DVD box sets, and we would watch those all together. This was sort of like the year in between freshman year and sophomore year, where I feel like I had been away for a whole year. And so we had the summer together where we were like not just annoyed with each other all the time. And it was like the best. And we bonded over the Monkees of all things. And I loved their music too. And that next year, their one of their singers, Davy Jones, died. And he was my favorite of the four. Just loved the Monkees.
Hey, it's a boy band.
That is that's an OG boy band for sure. Anyway, but that was a college one. There have been so many since then.
I know. What are your new ones this year? What just came up this year?
Well,
what's your present?
some of our present, and we'll go into deep, depth about it. Right, next week? Are we doing this this way?
Oh
That's
yeah.
what I want to know.
Oh.
So this end of this episode, that's what I meant.
You're doing.
Yeah, you see what I mean?
That's why you said 3 parts.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought we.
Oh.
Does it make sense?
It does.
Right?
Because that's kind of what we're doing, but I didn't think of it like that.
Yes, that's just how we talked about it. That's just how we'll name,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
right? Because this way we can talk about with present what we did this year and
like really.
what we appreciated from 2024.
Mm-hmm.
And then in our third one and our last one before holiday
Next year.
here's what we're looking forward to future. Wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like it.
So we can talk about our present fangirl fangirl. Oh, we can talk about the ghosts of fangirls present. Ghosts of fangirls present next week.
Yeah.
Looking back on 2024 and recent years, some of
those will be more free willy of maybe not heavy fangirled we just had to
there are
focus
a couple.
on. I was just but what are some of the big cultural just fangirly things we got to fangirl over this year?
And together.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. That's a whole different ball game because
That's a list in itself.
Yeah.
That's fun. I get it now.
Yay! Okay, cool. This meeting of the Fangirls Club is adjourned.
Yay!
Bye.